In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use AI to assist in grading Canvas quizzes. We'll follow these steps. First, we'll go into Canvas and create the quiz. Then we go into Guidance Rubrics and enable the quiz questions that we are interested in AI grading to be graded via the AI assistant. Then we're going to build and deploy rubrics to grade those questions. Then we go back into Canvas and we're going to make some test submissions. Then we wait for a little bit for the processing to process those submissions against the rubrics. And then we can evaluate those submissions and decide to accept the grades or modify the grades. And then we'll actually go back and make some more submissions and reevaluate. First, we'll create a quiz in Canvas. Here's some quizzes for a course I taught last semester. Add a new quiz, classic quiz. I'll just call this quiz test, and I want to make it so the students can have multiple attempts. Go into questions, add a new question. We'll make the question into an essay question. This system only works with essay questions. And the question is going to be this one, to explain the significance of the Louisiana Purchase. We will update the question and save and publish. Next, we're going to enable this question to be automatically graded with the AI. So we've logged in to Guidance Rubrics. You need to sign in if you haven't signed in already. And we'll go to Settings. Open that in a new tab. This is showing the course that I made the quiz in. If it's not showing for you, then you can select that one. And you might have to refresh. Refresh not only loads all of your current courses, it also loads the quizzes associated with this course. So when you add a new quiz, you need to either refresh here or refresh here so that quiz is displayed in Guidance Rubrics. Now we go into Manage Questions. Right click on that and open it in a new tab. Here's the course we selected, and then here's the quiz. Notice the quiz we made, it's shown as not auto-graded. And now, since we're going to just use the AI to assist us, we click AI Assistant for this question. If we had other questions, we could either grade them fully with AI, use Assistant, or not have the AI do anything with those questions. Now we will build and deploy a rubric. Let's go to the rubric editor. Again, I'll open it in a new tab. Select the quiz and the question. There's other videos that go into details about the rubric editor. We'll just make a very simple rubric here. Add a component, expand this component. We'll make this into a query, and the question we're going to ask the AI is, does this statement mention the Louisiana Purchase greatly expanded agricultural potential? And then for the follow-up query, again, there's more discussion about making these prompts in other videos. With the follow-up query, the statement does mention, or no, does not mention. So that's the query that we're going to use, or the prompt that we're going to use. We need to have a component description and a hint. For the component description, we'll say Louisiana Purchase greatly expanded United States agricultural potential. And for the hint, if they get it wrong, we'll put this, please review Chapter 7 that discusses the impact the Louisiana Purchase had on U.S. industry. Now, of course, this is not a full rubric for this question. If you were to use this to grade this question, you would have to add more components to address other topics that the student submission should address. In any case, this is sufficient for us to explore. Okay, we save this component. and save this rubric. and deploy this rubric. Next, we will create a test submission in Canvas. Here we are back in Canvas. Let's do View as a Student. And that will take this quiz. And we'll put a test submission. Louisiana Purchase increase the size of the United States. We will submit this quiz. Now we need to wait for the back-end systems to process this submission. However, we can speed that up slightly by going back to Guidance Rubrics and go into the settings, and scrolling down we see that there's a status here. If you click refresh, not only does it refresh the status, but it also tells the backend systems to start processing this course. Notice initially it doesn't say there's any questions to be graded, because it's waking up the backend systems to check to see if there's any questions. It will be some time, depends on how busy the systems are, maybe a minute or so. We can refresh and we see that now it says that there's one question to be graded. That means the backend systems will shortly start processing that question. Again, it depends on how busy the systems are, but eventually this should return back to 0 after this question has been graded. Now we can evaluate student submissions and submit a grade. So we've clicked refresh a few times, and after a few minutes we click refresh again and we see that there's no more questions to be graded. So that means that the question that we had answered given the test submission has been graded. So let's take a look at student submissions. Right click on that, open it in a new tab. And here we're going to click the option View Assistant. This is going to show us the questions that we've marked in the Manage Questions to use the AI Assistant. Select the quiz we're interested in, the question, and the student. So far we only have this test student. If you had assigned this to actual students, you would have the students' names there. We allow multiple attempts. We're just looking at the first attempt made by this test student. Here's the submission. Here, if we want to go look at the actual submission in Canvas, we could click that. And here's the rubric, the executed rubric. And we see that there's one component. This component has a single element, an OR element with only one element in there. And the grade that was given is 0. We can look at the details of what was sent to the AI and what the AI sent back. So the grade is 0 for this one. This is the comment that AI has generated. This is the grade. Now we can accept this, and this grade will then appear in Canvas. Maybe you will say, well, the increase in size of the US was an important component which is related to the farming aspect. So I'll give them a few points, maybe 0.25, perhaps. Look at that. And now we can accept and put that grade into Canvas. Returning it back to Canvas, and here we're still in the student view. We'll refresh the browser. And now it says this has been graded. The score is 0.25. And here is the hint that we've given. Recall this hint is the same one here. And by the way, this hint is from the rubric, this hint here. If we wanted to change this hint or change the rubric, we could do that, and the grading would automatically rerun, and we would be given an opportunity to update the grade and comment. So here's the quiz the student took. Suppose the student wants to take another attempt. Take the quiz again, and this is the answer they come up with. Louisiana Purchase grew the United States. Submit this one. And again, since we're in a hurry, we might want to speed things up a little bit by clicking the refresh button here. Again, no question is going to show up there quite yet. We waited a few minutes, the number of questions went to 1, and then eventually back to 0. So now we can go back to student submissions and refresh this page. Again, go to View Assistant, select the quiz, the question, and the same test student. Notice it says test student grade of 0.25 after 2 attempts. And now we can pick which attempt to look at. This is this new attempt. This is the answer. The AI is suggesting we give a grade of 0, and again the same comment. I think we can agree that this answer is not as good as the previous one, so we will give it a grade of 0. Returning back to Canvas, now we see that the second attempt is showing, and we can click on that second attempt here. Now, in a way, this is not a good example because it's showing that the current grade that they have is 0.25. The policy for the quiz is that they get the highest grade over all their attempts, but Canvas doesn't give you the highest grade for each question. However, our system does give them the highest grade for each question. Going into the second attempt, we see the grade here is 0.25. And then we explain what happened. We said the previous attempt, attempt 1, received a grade of 0.25. Well, this attempt received a grade of 0. But your grade is still 0.25. And now we have a comment for this submission. So all this text is added automatically. Go back to the quiz and make one more attempt. This time we'll answer Louisiana purchased greatly enhanced United States farming capabilities. Not exactly what the word was looking for, but pretty close. We'll submit this, and we'll wait some time for this to be graded. After waiting a little bit, we return back to Guidance Rubrics and look at the student submissions, refreshing the page, View Assistant, look at the quiz and question we're interested in. Now we have the 3 attempts. The third attempt, we see that the suggested grade is 1. And the suggested comment is correct. You correctly answered. And this is the component that we correctly answered. Again, we noticed that although the student submission wasn't exactly the same phrase we were looking for, the AI was able to detect the similarity between this phrase and the phrase we put in the rubric. So we accept this. Turn back to Canvas. We see the third attempt is there. It shows that not graded yet. We'll just refresh. And there it is, the full credit, and with our comment there. So that's it. That's how you can use AI to help you grade your Canvas quizzes.